So the first thing you need to do is get out this worksheet that you and I did yesterday, and we are going to check over the one that looks like this. So you need to make sure that you have this, and you need to make sure that you have a calculator. So I'm going to pause the video and give you an opportunity to do that, and hit play when you're ready. All right, so this worksheet question asks you to write an equation that fits this data if you're given a table. And then we want to know what's the height on the 8th day. So the first thing we need to figure out, according to your worksheet here, is we need to figure out what the initial value is, what the rate of change is, what the exponent means, and then we're going to write the equation out here. So what is the initial value? The initial value is where x is equal to 0. So right here, your initial value is 2.56. Okay? So that goes in right here. The next thing you figure out is what is the rate of change. Now, it doesn't specifically give it to us. So what you need to do is plug this in to list 1 and list 2 on your calculator. Days go in list 1, height goes in list 2. Then we're going to calculate the exponential regression. Take a minute, plug these numbers into L1 and L2, and then we'll come back to get the exponential regression. So your calculator provides for you the general form of what the equation is, where A represents your starting value and B represents your rate, and X is the exponent. And in this case, it gives us the value of A to be 2.56, which is also what we found here. And then it tells us that B is equal to 2.5. So this is your increase. And to take this a step farther, we write this in two forms, just like you and I talked about yesterday. One of the forms is going to be just the 2.5. And the other form, since this is an increasing problem, you can see how it increases on each increment. So that's going to be your 1 plus, and what do you have to add? What do you have to add to 1 here in order to get 2.5? And the answer to that is 1.5. So what this means is this is a 150% increase. So 1 plus 1.5 or 2.5. And then we're trying to identify what the exponent is calculating. And as we talked about yesterday, it's measuring time, and in this case, the exponent is measuring days. How do you know that? Because it says so right here. It says days. All right, let's do the next problem. Oh, wait, we haven't written the equation yet. So your equation would be y equals 2.56 times 2.5 raised to the x power. And what if I wanted to calculate it on the 8th day? All you would need to do is replace this exponent with an 8. And you would get y equals 3906.25 centimeters on the 8th day. Next problem. Joe is trying to decide which job would allow him to earn the most money after a few years. His first job agrees to pay him $50 per week. If he does a good job, they will give him a 2% raise each year. His other job agrees to pay him $40 a week if he does a good job, and they'll give him a 3% raise. So the first thing we're going to do is we've got a couple of, that's why this block is so big. We're going to kind of cut this one in half. So you take a second and cut that block in half on your worksheet. So your initial value, we'll call this one job 1, and we'll call this one job 2. And on job 1, his initial value is 50. And on job 2, the initial value is 40. Now, we're going to get 50 a week, and then we're going to get a raise of 2%. So a raise indicates that we've got an increase. So this is 1 plus 0.02. Don't tell me this is 1 plus 0.20, because that means 20%. So for the 1.02, okay, his other job is a raise of 3%. So that's 1 plus 0.03 or 1.03. So be a plus. Okay. Now let's look back at the problem and see what our exponent means. What does the exponent mean? Well, each year. So our exponent is calculating years. And let's put these things together and write an equation. Y equals 50 times 1.02 to the x power. Y equals 40 times 1.03 to the x power. Why don't you pause the video for a second and make sure that your table is filled in. Hit the play when you're ready. You should have your table filled in by now. Now look with me here on this problem. The blue represents job 1 and the red is job 2. By what year will job 2 be paying more annually? So what you need to do is you need to go put this guy into Y1, and we need to put this guy into Y2. Pause the video. Put it into your y equals. After you've put them into y equals, then you should go to second graph. And second graph should generate a table for you that looks like this. It should generate a table that looks like this. Okay, this should be the table that you are looking at. So by what year will job 2 be paying more annual salary? So you just need to continue to scroll down until Y2 is greater than Y1. And if you scrolled on down to year 23, job 1 is at $78.85, and job 2 is at $78.94. So this is where about 23 years will job 2 be giving more of an annual salary than job